Hello there, team. Hey, this is Joe Azur. Hey, this quick video is going out to my friend Brandon, who was asking, how can I set the IP address from a tag on a display page in Crimson 3.2? I've got a video on this for Crimson 3.1, but in 3.2 it's a little bit different. So in 3.2, we're going to use what's called personalities. So if I go over here to device configuration on the left, and then if I slide all the way down to the bottom here, in here, there's a section called personalities here. And if you click on personality, you can create a personality by clicking the green button. I've got one here called Ethernet 1 IP address. I didn't do any tag or value, and I just put a notes in here saying, hey, this is going to be the tag for Ethernet 1 IP address. Then I click OK, and then I'm going to use this up here. If I slide up here to Ethernet 1, when I click on Ethernet 1, I got port mode set up here, but down here, I can choose or drag my IP address, my personality, into here. Okay, so I got that done, and then I'm going to go over here to data tags, and I'm going to create a new numeric tag, and I call it IP address, and on the format, or I'm sorry, the data tab for that, I might set that to retentive, and then on the format tab, I'm going to declare that as an IP address by hitting the pick button here, checking the IP address, and that will put it in Crimson into the format of an IP address. So it's going to have the 4 octets. Now next, I'm going to go over here to programs, and I have a little program here written that is going to use 2 functions that are important. This count is one I just added. You don't need that. I just did that to verify that it's running. But I'm going to use a program, or a function, I should say, called set personality IP. So if I go over to the lower right-hand corner, and I'll click on System, and in System, if you expand the functions tree, and then if you expand the personality tree, you can see there's all kinds of functions in here. And the one I'm going to use is one called set personality IP. So if you right-click on that and show help info, it should take you to the PDF. And in this case, this is the function I'm using right here. All right, so that's what I'm going to use. It's interesting. You've got to type the name of the personality in quotations and then the tag. At least that's what I found. So back here at Crimson, what I did is I went ahead and typed the name of my personality here in between double parentheses. And then I did a comma, and I went ahead and dragged the IP address, or dragged that IP address tag in here. You might find that easier because if you have that tag nested in folders, it'll create correctly. And then after that gets done, you have to call the function commit personality, and you must put a 1 in between there for it to execute that functionality. All right, so in this case, over here on display pages, here I've got my thing. I'm using 2 functions down here, get net IP. If I double click on this one, it's going to show off what's on Ethernet 1 port, and then I did a smart duplicate, copied over here, and this one's going to show what's on Ethernet 2 port. All right, let's see if this works. Oh, and that program, I put a button down here, just manually try it. If I go to right-click and go to properties, on the action, I'm using user-defined, and I'm manually going to call that. I want to see if it works. All right, so let's save this. You'll see here, if I go to, link options, I'm connected to it over one Ethernet port, and I have the USB cable connected. I don't know if you know this or not, but the USB cable on these DA50s, that's what I'm using here, or DA70, it shows up as 2 Ethernet ports. Well, I shouldn't say Ethernet ports. It shows up as 2 ports. One is a common port, and then the other common port takes up a mimicked IP address. Anyway, I'm going to use this one here, which is the default on Ethernet 2. I'll click OK. OK. All right, let's go ahead and download this to the unit. Before I do that, I think I have the web page open. Yep, there it is. So let me go ahead and download so you can see it really happening. Boom. So let me do this. Let me go overwrite this. I'll come back to this in a little bit here. Okay, so here I am. Download to it. Notice, team, right now that Ethernet 1 has no IP address. I'm going to, well, let me open to the DOS prompt here real quick here, team. CMD. Okay. Oh, I guess I gotta type here. PCONF. I want you to see something here. Notice that my Ethernet 1 adapter has, let me make this so you can see it correctly. Ethernet 1 has this IP address, and Ethernet 2 is the other one I'm using. I got two RJ45 Ethernet ports. So this is the one we're downloading on. This is the other one that is connected to the Ethernet 1, the orange cable on here. So let's go ahead and see here, team. If I put in, for instance, 192.168.1.21, for instance, hit enter. I want to run that program. I want you to notice, hopefully the camera will get it, that when I hit run program, it's going to set the IP address, and it's going to do that commit reset, or that, whatever that function was. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, boom. I'll press it. Notice the count went to 1. You can see the unit went off. The ring on my DA50 was white. Now it's green. Let's see what it pops up here. We get some coffee. Hey, look. There it is. There's the IP address. Perfect. Now, what if I go ahead and make it a different one? Let's say I want to be on the same subnet, so the first 3 octets will be the same. But let's go this time to, say, 25, for instance. All right? We'll run program. Bam. Once again, the LEDs go to white on the DA50, and now they're coming back up to a little green. Let's see if it comes back up with this new 25. We're looking right here to see what happens. How cool is that? Perfect. Now, one thing I was going to show you is when I went to download there, let's see if I can make a change, just to see. Let me make a change. Hit Shazam. All right, let me stop you here. So this little part right here, for each, because we're using personalities, you have the option to either override what's on there or leave or exclude it from the download. So if I do override, I believe it's going to take it back to the default here. Let's try it. Over here. Let's see, it still says 25. Let's see. Actually, it should say 25 because I think I set that as retentive, but let's see what it shows up here. Ah, no, look at here. Actually, no, it went back to this because my database, the database overrode it. Okay, that makes sense then. Yeah, so I probably, what I should do is, let me go ahead and reset this. Let's try it real quick here, team. Give me a second to let it power up. And then this time I'll make a change, but I don't want to override. I want to keep this. So let's go back to Crimson real quick here. Let's say I move this guy over here like this. No big deal. Let me go here. Boom. This time I'm going to say leave, or I could do exclude. Let me try the leave part here. I think the exclude does the same thing. Let me leave it alone here. All right, let's go download. Let's see what happens here to this thing. It's still up. It never actually went off. That's awesome. If I go ahead and change this, 192.168.1.30, for instance. There we go. Boom. Let's go ahead and run program. Obviously, you see it goes off because it's going to cycle. Should come back up to 30 this time. Let's see. Okay, perfect. Okay, now back to my little, let me move this guy just again here like this. And if I can do, I think over here, let me go over here, device configuration. And where is it? Up here. Somewhere out here, there's some things you can do with the personalities. And oh, right there. No, that's it there. Where is the darn thing? Is it down here? Hold on here, team. Right here. This is what I was thinking. When you click on device personality, you can either include those